everyone. Thanks for joining the Preschool Small Group Breakout. This is the handbook, and everyone should have gotten one, either a hard copy or looked at the digital version. But I'm going to go over a little bit of the Preschool Small Group leader job description, and it says your why. Why do you do what you do? You are providing a loving and safe environment for kids as they get a first look at their Heavenly Father and what it means to have a relationship with Him. How cool is that we get to help kids have a first look at their Heavenly Father? That's pretty powerful. All right, so your role and responsibilities. So we can break up usually into like a leader role and an assistant role. Maybe we can switch it up one week. One person can be a leader, the next time another person can be a leader. We can talk about that. But a lot of times, usually the students or the teenagers can be in a good assistant. But so a leader can lead activities, leads the prayer time, greets and communicates with parents. The assistants can assist the leader by placing names on the take-home bags as children arrive, like I did here. I already wrote Susie on here. And helping with crafts and games and redirecting children who need a little bit extra attention during activities. So while the leader might be sitting here at the table and maybe Johnny is over there kind of having a little bit of trouble with something, that would be a great time for the assistant to jump in and kind of help out so the leader can still keep leading the activity. All right, so everybody, both the leaders and assistants, can pray over preschoolers and their families. Love on and engage preschoolers at their level using the provided lesson plan and activities. I know sometimes preschoolers just act like, oh, I'm too busy playing toys, but you can wrangle them in. Sometimes you might have to be a little bit creative or say, oh my gosh, come here and come look at this. Oh, I want you to do this with me. Come here, come on. And you can do it. I know it might seem like a lot of activities, but preschoolers have a very, very short attention span and they like to keep moving, keep going. So do as many activities as you can and make sure to read what it says on there. Like, don't just throw the ball into the ball pit or whatever. Say what it says. Talk about it, how that ties into the Bible story that we just watched on the video. Talk about it and read what it says. It literally tells you word for word of what you can say. I'm guilty. I cannot remember things very well. So even though I've reviewed my lesson, I still like to hold the hard copy and I still like to read off what it says. But it's good. I mean, they tell you right what to say. Read over your lesson multiple times before Sunday. When you are prepared, kids will notice. I don't know about y'all, but I know that when I pause and I start looking and reading, or if I'm trying to read the lesson and try to figure out what it is, and then I look up, pretty soon, all the kids have gone haywire. There might be hanging from the ceiling. They might be drug out every single toy you can imagine. Then it's really, really, really hard to get them back. But if you get their attention right away and you know what you're doing and you've got a plan, you can keep things going a lot smoother than if you have to pause multiple times to try to figure out what you're doing as far as the lesson goes. Be a team player. Leaders and assistants are to work together for the common goal of leading kids to Christ. I know it can be funky to have more than one person in the room or more than one adult in the room, but we all have a common goal. Let's work together. You can say, hey, I'm going to lead up this activity. Will you lead up this activity? Or, hey, while I'm over here doing this game with these 5 kids, will you come over here and do this craft with these 5 kids? And then in just a minute, we'll switch. How cool is that? I've recommended that in the elementary groups too. It really works well to keep things moving and to keep kids engaged. Or if you need to with preschoolers, especially the 2s, maybe you do an activity, maybe the leader does an activity at the table with 4 or 5, while the assistant is on the carpet playing with blocks and dolls with the other kids. And then in a few minutes, I bet you can get those kids back over to the table while the kids that were at the table go back with the assistant. So y'all work together, teamwork. All right, so manage the classroom in a way that is a safe environment for the children. We want to keep kids safe. We want them to have fun, but we want to keep them safe too. So just like in elementary, we talk to our preschoolers about being kind, being safe, and being respectful. If they're standing on the table, that's not being safe or respectful of church property. We're not being safe of our bodies. You can talk to them about that. If they're running in class, that's not being safe. We're going to crash or whatnot. That's just not safe. If we're throwing toys, that's not being safe. We might hurt somebody, or that's not being respectful of church property. That's not our things. We want to take care of our church's toys. So we can reuse those words over and over and over and over and over again. Be kind, be safe, be respectful. And remember to use the hands and feet team. If you get into a predicament where it just seems like Susie is off the chain, she just will not stop screaming and yelling, using her inside voice. Maybe she will not stop throwing toys, and the assistants tried, the leaders tried. Call the hands and feet team, see if they can come in and help. All right, so at pickup time, greet the parents lovingly and let them know something positive that happened during group. Have the child take home their bag with the parent cue paper and the craft. So there's the bag. We put the parent cue paper inside the bag, as well as any craft that they made. And I love this special time that we get when parents come to pick up their kids. I had the privilege of serving with the 4 and 5-year-olds this past week, and I loved greeting parents when they came and said, "Oh my gosh, so-and-so, your son was so sweet today. He said this and he shared this." And the mom was like, "Really? Are you talking about my kid?" "Yes, he was a joy." And I love that. I love that we can tell the parents, or one little boy did phenomenal with his memory verse. And so when his dad came and picked him up, I said, "All right, let's show Dad our memory verse." And so we did the motions together, and he was so proud, and the dad was just in awe. So let's do that. That's a special time. I know it can be crazy and hectic when parents are picking up and everybody's wanting to go home, but don't forget that special time of being able to talk to the parents and letting them know something special that happened today or that morning. All right, so ensure that only assigned and background check volunteers for a designated service are allowed in room. Anyone not scheduled to serve in that room should be asked to leave. I know this can be tricky. I'm guilty. But if somebody comes in and they're not on the schedule, they've not been background checked, maybe it's your sister-in-law that came to visit from Utah. I'm sorry, she cannot be in the room. It's just not safe. They've not been background checked. I've not talked to them. We just don't know. Even if you say, "Oh, they're awesome," it doesn't matter. We want to have good integrity, and we want to uphold a safe environment for our kids. And so only background checked volunteers are allowed to be in our children's ministry environments. That goes for elementary too. I've said the same thing to them. If a parent really doesn't want to leave their kid, I would recommend maybe that they take their child to the family room. But I just don't feel comfortable with parents lingering and staying in our kids' ministry. You can blame it on me. You can say our kids director won't allow us. I'm so sorry. If a parent has an issue, you can contact me or the hands and feet team. But let's try to uphold that. And if you just don't know, if Sally Sue comes in and is like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" and she just proceeds to come in and you're like, "I don't know if she's scheduled to serve or not," call me, call the hands and feet team. We'll get it figured out. All right, what else was I going to talk about? Oh, so one thing I wanted to show y'all too was how to work the TV. I know we've had a lot of people go, "I don't know how to work the TV." So in our curriculum with preschoolers, they come in the room, they play. We've got some activities that they can do when they first arrive. And then after a few minutes, after about 5 or 10 minutes after the true start of service, we can gather all the kids back to the table and we can get ready for our story time. They watch a little worship video and they watch their Bible story, Ollie. So you just turn the TV on. I'm going to see if it'll work. Yep. And then you just go to the Roku media player and click OK. And then, so it might come up that, or it might come up all of these. So these are all the different videos I usually do 1 or 2 months at a time. And so you just find the day that you need. So like October 22nd, if that's your day, you would just click OK. And then you could click OK for play. But if you ever need to go back, it's that little arrow button. And I also include some different music videos. So sometimes in your activities, it might say play music while you do a freeze dance or something. There's all these different videos. Specifically, they're just music videos, so you could use those too. But yeah, so it's just Roku Media Player, and and I have all the videos for the month. So every week there's a different video. Usually it's the same song each week, but there's a different Bible story each week, and so there's a different little video. One of the things that we recommend during the video, while you have all the kids seated down, a great way to get them to the table and to get them seated is a snack. Yes, we love goldfish, but y'all, this is a giant bag of goldfish. And so I'm cheap. If y'all didn't know that before, I'm cheap, just FYI. So it's a great thing to split this up. Like 4 kids can eat out of this one bag. Either pour a little bit in a cup. The 4 and 5-year-olds, I think, have little cups. Or you can pour some on a paper towel. Just pour a little bit out. This past Sunday, again, whenever I served with the 4 and 5-year-olds, I split one bag between 4 or 5 kids. 4 out of 5 of the kids didn't even finish what little bit I gave them. I had 2 kids that wanted seconds, and so I gave them just a little bit more, but that was plenty. Oh, and a juice box. Just a simple juice box. I wouldn't even let them pick what one. Just give them whatever one. They get what they get, and they don't throw a fit. But yeah, so snack is a great time to do while they're watching the video. That's a great way to keep them entertained. So, all right, so what to do at the end of service. So all the kids are getting picked up. You finished everything. You finished your activities. You've got everything, all your activities back in the box and ready for the next service. Some kids are going to stay for both services, and that's okay. We want to keep them happy and stuff through that transition. Maybe that's a great time for the assistant to be on the floor playing with the kids while parents are picking up. That way there's only one adult at the door for pickup. Maybe that's the leader of the day, and the leader's kind of helping facilitate the kids to the right parents and that kind of thing, and talking with them and telling them something that great happened that day, while the assistant's on the floor still playing toys. That's okay. The room doesn't have to be spotless when parents come in. Let them play on the floor with the toys and whatnot. And then kind of spot clean the room a little bit. It doesn't have to be spotless, but if a kid spilled a whole bunch of goldfish, totally clean that up a little bit. Wipe down the tables, kind of get ready for the next group of kids that are coming in. Excuse me. What else? Oh, so at the end of the morning, after all the services are done, same thing. You can kind of spot clean. Our cleaning crew does usually come in every Monday morning, so don't feel like you have to vacuum and clean and do all this fancy things. The cleaning people are going to come in the next day. One big thing I do ask for preschoolers is I would love for you guys to be able to stack the chairs on top of the tables at the end of the last service of the morning. That way, whenever the cleaning people do come in, they clean all up underneath the tables and chairs. That's super helpful. But all right, well, I think that's kind of everything that I can think of. I know one more thing. If you ever have a kid that put a toy in their mouth, stick it in the sink or something, and then we can wash it later. You know, we're trying to minimize germs. We might get to where we have different toy rotations or whatnot, but right now, if you see a kid put a toy in his mouth, just kind of set it to the side and we'll clean it later. But anyways, thank you all for joining me. And as always, if you have any questions or concerns or just want to chat, email me, Facebook message me, text me, call me, whatever. I'm here for you, and I want you to win and serving in 902 Kids. Thank you all. Thank you. And have a great week.